When your body is scattered, overstimulated, and depleted, your breathing becomes shallow and chaotic. Semen retention changes that. It slows everything down from the inside. Your nervous system resets, your hormones stabilize, and your body starts remembering how to breathe with depth and power. That breath, low, slow, controlled, is what triggers the peak oxygen cycle. And that cycle determines your clarity, your endurance, and your emotional control in any situation. When you retain, you activate the internal systems that manage rhythm and flow. The tension that builds inside doesn't just sit there, it grounds you. That grounding pulls your breath lower into your diaphragm. Over time, this becomes your new baseline. Calm, rooted breathing that keeps your mind focused and your reactions sharp. Most men breathe from their chest because they're stuck in a fight or flight loop. But retention breaks that loop. It calms the storm inside and unlocks the full power of your oxygen cycle. With each breath, you're no longer reacting to life. You're leading it. And people around you can feel that shift before you say a word. Section 1. Autonomic Reset. Most men breathe wrong, and they don't even know it. Shallow, fast, chest-based breathing becomes the norm when your nervous system is stuck in survival mode. That's what constant stimulation, stress, and sexual exhaustion do. They pull your breath higher and faster until your body forgets how to breathe fully. Semen retention reverses this. As you hold your energy, the nervous system stabilizes. You start breathing slower. The breath drops back into the diaphragm where it belongs. This shift restores oxygen efficiency and brings you into a calm but powerful state. You're no longer fighting for air. You're fueling every cell with precision. Over time, this reset eliminates a silent enemy, hyperventilation syndrome. Most people are breathing too much, too quickly, without realizing it. It floods the body with stress hormones, tightens the chest, and clouds the mind. Retention softens that chaos. It calms the emotional circuits tied to impulsive behavior and sexual release. You begin to breathe like a man who's not rushing, not flinching, not overstimulated. That smooth, steady breath anchors your focus, slows your thoughts, and roots your presence. The urge to panic fades, your inner rhythm takes over, and the external noise loses its power over you. As this balance deepens, something rare begins to happen. Your breath starts syncing with your brain. Semen retention increases alpha and low beta brainwave states, the frequencies associated with calm focus, strategic thinking, and emotional control. Your breathing rhythm follows suit, matching these waves like a metronome. You start to think clearer, speak with more weight, and move with timing that feels intentional. This isn't forced, it's built into your biology, and the more you retain, the more this breath-to-brain coherence becomes automatic. People notice. They may not know what's changed, but they feel your presence differently. This alignment puts you ahead in any environment. Whether it's physical pressure, emotional chaos, or high-stakes conversation, you don't react. You regulate. Your breath becomes your control panel. One exhale, and your heart rate slows. One inhale, and your focus sharpens. Semen retention gives you this power by stabilizing the systems that modern life constantly throws out of rhythm. When your breath no longer betrays you, your presence becomes unstoppable. You're calm when others are tense, sharp when others are scattered, and all of it begins with a single, well-earned decision to hold instead of release, to breathe instead of break. Section 2. Interoceptive awareness. The breath isn't just air, it's strategy. When you control it, you control more than your lungs. You control blood flow to your brain, your decision-making under pressure, and your ability to stay present when chaos strikes. Men on retention build something most never develop: higher carbon dioxide tolerance. This means they don't panic when air gets thin or when stress tightens the chest. The brain stays fed. Cerebral blood flow stays strong. You can think clearly while others shut down. This is what makes you calm in confrontation, sharp in competition, and clear-headed when tension is high. You don't get overwhelmed, you outlast. Semen retention also sharpens one of the body's most underrated systems, the vagus nerve. It's the bridge between your brain, heart, and gut, and it's the key to emotional regulation. Retention raises vagal tone, which means your body starts to process stress with balance instead of chaos. Your breathing becomes the switchboard. One slow breath sends signals up and down the vagus nerve, telling your body, hold the line, we're still in control. You feel it during intense moments. Your chest doesn't tighten, your gut doesn't flip, your hands don't shake. The breath anchors you. And because of retention, that anchor holds deeper than ever before. Most people move through the day without knowing what's happening inside them. They can't tell when they're tense, tired, or scattered until they crash. But retention trains the opposite. It boosts your interoceptive awareness. You become sensitive to internal cues, your breath, your heartbeat, your energy levels. You catch things early. You adjust before problems grow. You slow down when needed. Gear up when the moment calls for it. This isn't a spiritual practice, it's tactical awareness. You become the kind of man who doesn't just react to life. You read the signals, make the adjustments, and stay ahead of the curve. That awareness also becomes physical intelligence. You begin to notice the link between thought and tension, between emotion and breath, between energy and action. Retention fine-tunes this connection. You feel when your breathing starts to rise and bring it back down. You sense when focus begins to slip and pull it back in. These aren't big dramatic changes. They're micro-adjustments that stack into an unstoppable rhythm. You become hard to distract, hard to rattle, and impossible to read. Because while others are trying to manage the outside world, you're tuned into the only territory that truly matters, your internal state. Over time, this gives you a different kind of power. Not the loud, performative kind, but the quiet, unshakable kind that builds real influence. You're aware of yourself on a level most people never reach. You don't waste energy. You don't leak emotion. You respond with precision. And it all starts with your breath, trained, sharpened, and linked to a nervous system no longer fried by release or overstimulation. Retention makes this possible. It's not just about what you hold back. It's about what you begin to notice, control, and use. That's how you shift from living on reaction to living by design. Section 3. Upward energy movement. Sexual energy doesn't disappear, it moves. And how it moves decides everything. When you retain, that energy begins to build in the lower body. It presses up against your system, waiting for direction. Without control, it causes restlessness, distraction, or impulsive behavior. But paired with the right kind of breath, it transforms. Deep nasal breathing, especially through techniques like alternate nostril or box breathing, acts as a conductor. With each inhale, the breath pulls energy upward from the base of the spine. With each exhale, it anchors it in the mind. Over time, this practice sends energy toward the prefrontal cortex, fueling clarity, discipline, and sharp awareness. You don't just feel more alive, you feel more in control of that life force. But breath does more than move energy, it cleans the system. Every deep breath powers the respiratory pump, which activates your lymphatic system. This system clears out cellular waste and removes toxins, but it depends on full, diaphragmatic breathing to function properly. Semen retention supercharges this process by making your breathing deeper and more controlled. The body becomes more efficient at flushing out stagnant energy and biochemical clutter. What's left behind is a cleaner, more focused state of being. You feel lighter, sharper, and more responsive. Not because you're running from stress, but because your body has been cleared to deal with it. This detox isn't physical alone, it's psycho-energetic. Less buildup, more flow. Less friction, more clarity. Breathing is the guardian of your internal energy reservoir. Erratic breathing, fast, shallow, panicked, acts like a leak. It drains your charge, weakens your focus, and destabilizes the container that retention builds. But slow, steady breathing reinforces it. It keeps the lid sealed on the pressure you've been cultivating. That containment is what creates emotional strength. You're no longer easily triggered, thrown off balance, or overwhelmed. The breath becomes a shield and a sword, holding your energy while directing it with precision. In this state, you don't just survive tension, you use it. You become unshakable, and your presence becomes a signal to the world. This man holds power, and he knows exactly where it's going.